Welcome to episode 10 of the Scaling Up podcast. Something feels a little different today.
Well, I'm here for the first
Tanner,
time.
you been dieting down?
Yeah. Apparently I got longer here too, you know.
Are the lights shining in your eyes or something? You're squinting quite a bit today, Tanner.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The light is pretty bright today.
Have you been squatting a lot? It seems like you got a little shorter. Hey, well, you got a Hugo today?
And I don't have my weed with me today, so.
Your weed? Oh yeah, Hugo cannot smoke weed. Tanner's the only person I know who actually doesn't become retarded when he smokes. Remember the one time we were filming Creepy Cuck when you were reading me the bedtime story?
Yeah.
The Cat in the Hat?
I know some good games we could play, said the cat. I know some new tricks, said the cat in the hat.
I was high.
Oh yeah, and you couldn't keep a straight face. We had to do 20 takes of you reading
Oh
the
yeah,
Cat
I
in the
remember
Hat.
that. That was really funny while we were filming it.
And Tanner was high too. He was behind the camera. He kept laughing too because you were making him laugh.
And
you're laughing.
that made me laugh even more.
And I'm like, Jesus, I'm supposed to be asleep and I could just hear you cracking up while you're reading the Cat in the Hat. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Just, you had all you had to do was read a paragraph of the Cat in the Hat.
Oh yeah. And then I kept on laughing or some shit, right?
Yeah. But yeah, Tanner's out of town currently. We're going to Vegas for New Year's Eve. Tanner went a little bit early. So this is actually how I kind of envisioned the podcast, since Tanner and I won't always be in town at the same time. So occasionally we'll have somebody like Hugo and D-Bob, hopefully who's going to be out here soon, fill in for one of us in situations like this. And that's the power of having a team, Since it's me and Tanner, if one of us is here, it's fine. If it was just one of us, if this was just Tanner's podcast and he couldn't do it this week, then, it's just the power of having a team. So, yeah, make sure to subscribe to the podcast, by the way. I always have to point that out first. And if you guys don't know that Hugo has a channel, make sure to subscribe to Hugo.
Hugo Boss Pranks.
It's Hugo Boss Prank, I thought.
I changed it, pranks.
Oh, you changed it to pranks?
Yeah, I do multiple prank, not just one prank.
I told Hugo to change his name to Hugo Boss Pranks because when you search Hugo Boss, the fashion brand comes up. So Hugo changed it to Hugo Boss Prank.
Yeah, that's more
Just
easier
one prank?
to... Yeah, multiple. But the S...
But why did you make it prank at first?
Poor grammar.
But yeah, if you guys didn't know that Hugo has a channel, definitely make sure to go subscribe. A lot of you guys are always shocked every time that I share one of Hugo's videos. They're like, oh, he has a channel. But believe it or not, Hugo, some people don't even know that I have a channel. All those people that come up to us while we're filming, the fans.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, oh, you're that guy.
They just saw one clip on TikTok or some shit.
Yeah, you're that guy. I'm like, I'm that guy. That's the most common interaction that I have with people who come up to me. They're like, oh, you're that guy. I'm that guy.
Oh, yeah. It's like one of my coworkers said, oh, you're not that translator guy, are you? I said, yeah, I am. He's just shocked.
Well, you're getting the translator guy now, which is good. People are starting to... You're getting recognized more, I
Yeah,
noticed,
for sure,
when we
for
film.
sure.
Especially when you wear the suit.
Yeah, definitely.
Just like when I put the tattoos on, I get recognized a lot more. I feel like you in the suit.
Yeah.
That's what makes you stand out, is that character.
Yeah.
The Mr. Semi character. So, yeah, a lot of people are curious how we met, and I feel like I've told the story a million times, but I don't mind telling it again. It's always news to somebody, so it's fine to tell the same stories over and over, because there's going to be a lot of people's first time hearing this. So, how Hugo and I met is Hugo actually reached out to me on an Instagram story. I made an Instagram story because I was looking for somebody Asian. This was back when I was beefing with Cassidy Campbell, and I was going to make a whole series about Cassidy called The Chronicles of Creepy Cuck Campbell. And I was basically going to play Cassidy, and I would need a cast of people to play his friends. That's actually how I found Tanner shortly after to play Alex Rosen, and that's how I found Hugo to play Cassidy's camera guy, Semi.
Semi. Right?
Yeah.
The good old days. Yeah.
And that name actually stuck. Even after?
Oh, yeah.
You go as Mr. Semi now?
Mike still calls me Semi, and even Tanner sometimes calls me Semi.
Yeah, the Chinese translator's name is Mr. Semi.
Oh, yeah.
And that initially started when we did that one Uber dead body prank. And you were the dead body for most of the video. And then I thought it would be funny to go to Chinatown. And you're the boss, the mafia boss. Remember that video?
I was the dead buddy, and On the Uber, right?
Yeah, and then
yeah,
you were the
yeah.
mob boss for
Right.
the last scene with
Right,
the Chinese guy,
right.
which might have been the best scene, and except it was dark, which sucks because you can't see shit in
Yeah.
it. But yeah, so you were supposed to be the mob boss in that scene, and I'm like, what do we call him? Mr. Semi. We have a Mr. Wellington as the normal mob boss, so now we have Mr. Semi, and I don't know why Mr. Semi. You just look like a Semi. And in the suit, you look like a Mr. Semi, so it's just perfect.
Oh, I was wondering where that come from. Like, I mean, like, Mr. Sammy. You've been calling me Sammy, but I don't know where you get Mr. Sammy from.
When you were the mob boss that one time.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you just clicks in my head now. So.
这边这个唐人街这个我们这块儿主要就是我说我是
人呐，
对，
这咋整啊？
我给你
整不了。
我给你5万块
不，行，不行，整不了。
You didn't know that this whole
I didn't know.
time?
Nah, you never told me that.
But yeah, in the suit, you just look like a Mr. Semi for some reason.
Yeah. Pretty professional in the suit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious myself, though, how long did you watch me before you reached out to me when I made that story?
Dude, you know, I actually watched you for about 2 years before I met you. Maybe 2 years, maybe even more. I don't know. Like, obviously, I got to know you. Like, when I first know you was like the professor prank.
Oh, so
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. That checks out. So you started watching me right when I started doing pranks full time.
Yeah, the professor prank. That's why I first found out about you, and ever since then, I started watching you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of Cassidy back then?
Honestly, I wasn't a fan, but I watched him a lot back then. Honestly.
So what did you think about basically doing a series like shitting all over him?
Like, I don't care. I just thought it would be funny to, like, you know, be on camera and shit like that. I guess, like, back then I just, like, you know, if it's fun to do, then I'll do it. You know.
Yeah, if it's fun. I'm glad you're over that now.
Well, you know, life is about experience. Well,
Yeah.
that's something female would say, but you know.
I mean, now your mentality's kind of changed, and you've gotten a lot better, like, recently.
Oh yeah.
Like, your mentality, for sure.
For sure.
But, did you ever think about doing pranks before you worked with me?
I actually done prank once, like, before I met you, but like
On camera?
not on camera, but I was just practicing. Just like the first time I got arrested, I
Oh,
just
yeah,
kind
well,
of
you're going to
practiced.
talk about that in a little bit. And
I mean, my friends, they were being a bum. They were saying like, this is cringe and shit like that, and that kind of discouraged me to do it more. But yeah, after I met you,
who are these friends?
they're just some
They're
like
not bums themselves, are they?
they are actually kind of. I don't want to.
Why
see
would you
this.
listen to people like that?
Well, because I was kind of a bum back then, I guess. Like, it's just,
But yeah. So you did a prank. You didn't film it. You just did it like to practice. This is all new to me, by the way.
yeah, I mean, I just thought it would be fun to do a prank. You know, like back in high school, I was the like class clown. You know what I mean? Like, so doing prank is not something new. Because back in high school, I do prank people. You know, like. But
That's funny, actually. I did pranks just for fun too. I've talked about this before. Like, even up to and slightly past high school. I remember, you know, Vlad, my best friend. You've met him?
Yeah, you told me.
We would sometimes drive to a university and just fuck with people, like, because we were bored.
For real.
But yeah, nowadays, I feel like that's like psychopathic. Like doing a prank and not filming it.
Yeah.
Like that's something I could never do.
I actually got pranked just yesterday. Like I was like warming up my ramen noodle, cooking my ramen noodle. I'm one of the guy. I don't even know if I should like talk about this in camera, but like it's, you know, it's just like some people just do prank without a camera. But like
Yeah, that's crazy.
I told him like why?
I mean, when I was younger, that's what I did. But
Yeah.
Nowadays, I just can't imagine. Sometimes even when we're filming, like we go to a drive-through and like Tanner fucks with the people. I think you've done that too.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm,
did.
like, you know me, I'm super serious. Like,
know.
Well, no, I'm not super serious when the cameras are off. Like I can joke around, but I wouldn't like fuck with people off camera.
Yeah, I still do that sometimes. It's just practicing to me.
Jesus fucking Christ. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
The practicing, where that got
Oh
you.
yeah.
But yeah, so you hit me up to play the Semi character, and I think before that, I told camera guy Mike at the time that I'm looking for an Asian guy to play Semi, and the guy, he said, I have a friend who is Asian, and he can do it, and he sent me a picture of this guy, and this guy does not look Asian the way you do.
Yeah.
He looks like one of those, like, kind of Asian, but not really, like Filipino or something, you know?
Indian?
No, not Indian. But when I think of Asian, I think of you. Like, you know what I mean?
Eastern Asian specifically.
Like Chinese, Japanese, Korean.
Yeah.
So that's the way I pictured the Semi character. Now, Semi, the real Semi, I could maybe pop a picture of him on the screen. He's Korean, but he doesn't look as Asian as you do, and he acts super white. He
Really?
talks super white, yeah. But this is a parody, so I wanted like the most Asian person possible.
Yeah.
And then you reached out to me. I thought you had the perfect look, but then you asked me that one question. Like, what did you say? Tell me more about this character
I didn't say that, did
or
I?
something. You said it's super weird too. Like, can you give me an explanation of this character or something? And I'm like, damn, like this is fucking weird. But I'm like, okay, fuck it. This guy's the best option. And then you came here. The first episode, the skits, we filmed just together, me and you on a tripod, kind of like this in my house. I didn't know you at all back then.
Yeah.
But I remember it was just so perfect. Like you were Semi, like you were
Right.
made for the character. So yeah, it was just perfect. And also that guy that Mike wanted to give me, he was one of those like, oh, I can do it only Thursday.
Oh yeah, those
before
are the
2
worst.
o'clock.
Yeah. Same goes with cameraman. You know, like you don't want those people filming for you.
So once I heard that, I'm like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
We're going with Hugo. And thank God I did. And it's crazy, back then, I thought that you and Tanner and everybody involved in the Creepy Cuck series would just be for that series. And yeah, I thought that's where our ways would part. But
I was actually kind of glad you like kept messaging me and shit like that, because I kind of want to like, I like doing prank, you know what I mean? Like ever since I started, I just feel like, you know, this is fun. Well, not fun in a sense that it's like entertaining, but
not
like
fun.
yeah, not fun, but
it's like
you know,
exciting.
It's meaningful, yeah. It's,
All right, so yeah, and you started doing pranks on your own in 2021 as well. You started your own prank channel, right?
yeah.
And what's crazy is, now you have been on and off. You haven't been as consistent as like Tanner has been. Like when
For
Tanner
sure.
started working with me, like he was like, that's it. Like
Oh,
this
yeah.
is my path now.
For sure.
You were kind of on and off. But what's crazy is you've been arrested more times than I have.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you've been, now Tanner, he has a long criminal past, but I'm pretty sure you've been arrested more times than Tanner too, since
For
he
real?
started doing pranks.
No way. Oh, since they started doing prank, yeah, probably.
Yeah, so I've been arrested 3 times. I thought we were tied. Now, keep in mind, only one of the arrests was that you had was with me
But you, yeah.
because of my video. The other 2 were, you had 2 for your own videos, and I thought you only had 3 arrests, but you just told me before this that you had a 4th
4.
one for
like expired registration, which has nothing to do with prank. It just well, I had a warrant on me, and I had an expired registration
for not appearing in court, right?
Yeah, something like that. So the cop pulled me over. It's like, okay, your license expired. Oh, and then you have a warrant. Okay, let's arrest you. So,
What did he pull you over for? I'm just curious.
expired registration and insurance.
Okay.
So yeah, both.
So you just ran your plates and he saw your registration's expired?
Yeah, and then he found out I had a warrant, so got me arrested.
That's crazy. I drove with an expired registration for like 8 or 9 months. Not because I wanted to, but because when I moved from Texas to California, Texas made some mistake in the DMV. And let me tell you, the process to change from a Texas registration to a California registration was so fucking brutal. I almost thought about just driving back to Texas and renewing it that way. But yeah, I drove without a registration for a good while, but I made sure I was driving like a grandpa during that time. So like, did you do anything else to get pulled over that day?
I think it was late at night, and it was like 3 a.m. That's
not a crime.
Well, in Chino Hills where I live, like the cop just like so random, they pops up at midnight or some shit like that.
Yeah. Hugo is the GO driver. The other day, man, I almost feel like we should vlog sometimes in our pranks because this was like straight out of a movie. So the time you drove before that, we ended up at gunpoint with LAPD helicopters around
Which
us.
was not my fault. Like
It was all 3 of us' faults.
Yeah.
But you also drove.
I drove.
I feel like if Tanner was driving or I was driving, we would have been fine.
You mean like you would drove faster?
We would just know where to go. Like,
I don't know about that. I mean, like we got in trouble anyway. I feel like at that point.
yeah, but there's no explanation for the other day,
Yeah.
which you took a wrong turn and then somehow we're at LAX, in the middle of the airport, in arrivals.
Yeah.
So anybody that doesn't know how LAX is, the LA airport, you know, once you're inside, like you're fucking, it's like bumper to bumper. You're basically parked in there.
Yeah.
So it was like something, how do you end up at LAX, bro? From taking a wrong turn.
I missed one exit.
And you ended up at LAX.
Yeah.
Like, this is why I feel like we should vlog sometimes, because, like,
It's LA, bro. Like,
I've never heard of anybody accidentally end up at LAX.
there's first time for everything.
Well, anyway, yeah, that's why we should vlog sometimes. I hate vlogs and pranks, but the shit that happens with us is actually entertaining. It's not just, like, walking around Walmart and shopping for props.
It definitely is entertaining. Yeah.
But yeah, so you got arrested once for an expired registration, and only one of your arrests was with me. So let's talk about that one first. It's probably the most boring one out of your three. The other two are just like mind-boggling. But I actually have a full video about all of my arrests, all of my court cases. I had a total of 8 cases at the time. Now I've had 9 cases. If you guys haven't seen that video, make sure to watch it. I'll link it. I kind of have PTSD from filming that video. So, you know, the way I used to do talking videos, I would literally write out a script, like word for word, what I'm going to say. And
You're still doing that, right? You still do that?
I have notes.
Yeah.
But right now I'm not reading a script. So, like, for example, here, I have a line. Hugo's been arrested more times than me, right? So if that was part of the script, I'd memorize and be like, Hugo's been arrested more times than me. Hugo's been arrested more times than me. Hugo's been arrested more times than me. And then when I edit, I pick the best one. And then I do that for every fucking line. And you can imagine how bad editing that is.
Yeah, for sure.
But not only that, the audio was fucked for the entire video. After 3 days of filming like that. So I had to spend like a week fixing the audio. And I could have fixed it in like 5 minutes, knowing what I know now. It's something called, what is it called? Compressor, audio compressor. I could have used that if I used Premiere, but I didn't know at the time, so I spent a week manually adjusting it. So I have PTSD from that video. A lot of work went into it, so check
I used to do
video.
that too. Well, back then Premiere didn't have compressor.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's new, right?
I literally, that's one of the few things I use Premiere for. But yeah, check out the video about all of my arrests if you're interested. But right now we're talking about Hugo's arrests. And so the arrest, I'm sorry, the imaginary university arrest.
Yeah.
Right, this never happened. Remember one day at nighttime we were just thinking of a funny story to tell?
Oh, yeah.
And we came up with this story?
Yeah.
So everything we're about to say, it's actually not real.
It's not real. It's fake.
Yeah. If it was real, we wouldn't be allowed to talk about it. So
Right.
It's definitely fake. So we were at this imaginary university, and basically the prank was, by the way, I can't upload this video unless I pay a $10,000 fine. So one day when $10,000 is just like fuck you money, I'll upload the video. But for now,
One day. Yeah.
all we have is a recollection of it. So basically Hugo was sitting in a lecture hall as a student,
Yeah.
and you look just like a student at that university.
Did I have a backpack on me? No, probably not.
So you were sitting in the lecture hall, then I walk in as Vladimir. I'm like, Hugo Boss. You're like, yes, that's me.
Miss
I
Wellington.
had Mr. Wellington on the phone. I'm like, Mr. Wellington, this is the guy who owes you money. And then he says, your father owes me however many $1,000.
10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then within like 10 seconds, everybody started running out.
Yeah.
What were you
Just-
thinking when that was happening?
It was just the way you look, I think. And what was I thinking?
When everybody was running out of the class, what was going through your head? Were you thinking this is bad?
Nah, I honestly just feel like this has happened to us a lot, honestly. Because it did happen to us like previously too, right? Well, not
like
everybody.
that.
Not like that, no.
It happened to me before when I did the creep video at a lecture hall in Texas, and I ended up having a warrant and going to jail in solitary confinement in Texas for that. So as soon as that happened again, I was just thinking, oh no.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, I didn't feel that nervous, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I just feel like it's one day, another day in the office, you know?
I mean, in that sense, yeah. And back then we were doing like some crazy shit,
Yeah.
even compared to now.
Oh yeah, especially you, for your channel, you done a lot of crazy shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember though, I have the audio. I listened to it over, and as we're walking out, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I just say it under my breath, like.
Yeah.
But I knew what's coming next, and this is on me. I probably should have told you to just go in the other direction because you could have easily blended in with all of the other students.
But you would still get arrested, you think?
Oh, I would have gotten arrested,
Yeah.
but I mean, you didn't. I feel like you could have just walked the other way and avoided it. Because remember one day when they pulled up on us?
Yeah.
They were like, "Sir," with the tattoos or the bald head, whatever they said, like on the ground.
Yeah, when they had us at gunpoint.
Yeah. At first they didn't say shit to you.
You told me to record
Yeah,
that
I'm
shit.
like, Hugo, start filming because that was a bigger shot.
I would have got away with it, but until you tell me to start recording, they were like,
Might have
okay.
got-
They were like, you guys are together? Okay. That's
Yeah, but would you have gone at that point? Is there any getting away? Because you'd literally have to say, "I kidnapped you." At that point,
Oh yeah.
because if you said like I'm part of the prank, you
obviously
would've
I'm
got-
not gonna say you kidnapped me.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'll probably get arrested.
But at
yeah.
first they literally thought I kidnapped you or some shit, which is why like
Is that what they're thinking?
yeah. As soon as they saw that we're like working together, they're like, "You two, get on the." Did they make you get on the ground?
No, at first they make you put your hands on the back. He didn't say anything to me. He said just get away from him, which is you. I think that's what
Yeah,
happened.
they try to save you.
Yeah. I still have that clip in my phone memory or somewhere.
I mean, I have that clip too.
Yeah.
I uploaded that clip. That's before.
Oh, yeah,
the
you
order
did,
not to
huh?
upload
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Well, actually, that video's down too. They made me take it down. But,
Really?
did they make you lay on the ground too?
No, they just told me to put my hands on the back afterward. And then, yeah, they just handcuffed me and put me in the back of the car.
Okay. So they didn't think you're enough of a threat that you have to lay on the ground.
I forgot, honestly. Did they make me? I don't, maybe.
Remember with me too, they were like, they made me get on my knees, cross my legs, sitting up like this.
Yeah.
And then they're like, lay flat on the ground. And then, so I like laid flat. They're like, put your hands on your head. Like, how's that even physically possible?
For you, it's not possible. For everybody else, I think it's possible.
Bask got away. Bask was filming.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I also think you could have easily gotten away. Because if Bask can put a hood on and just walk out of there, you literally look like every student at that school.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of Asians there.
The Asian genes.
There was that.
young.
So one of the reasons we ended up on the news and they made all the hit pieces about us is because they were so sick of us coming there. This was actually our third time filming there. And so the first time we were filming, I remember we were pulling up and we were looking for you. You came, met us separately. And we were driving by, like, where's Hugo? Or where's Sammy? I think we called you Sammy back then.
Yeah, you call me Sammy a lot.
And
back
I'm like,
then.
oh, there he is. And then we pull up, never mind. Then again, oh, he's right there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I swear to God, it happened like 5 times.
Asian people?
Yeah. Oh, there he is. Then we drive by, who the fuck is that? Like, where the fuck is Sammy?
Oh, my God.
You know how Mr. Beast does the challenges? Like, find the hidden people in the group. There should be like, find the real Hugo. There should be like 100 Asians.
Bruh.
And you get $10,000 if you
That's
find
like
the real
that's like
Hugo.
a white people thing. Like you can't recognize Asian from Asian. Like
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let's say you got arrested in China. Or you committed a crime and you got away. How would somebody describe you to the police?
they describe you feature. Like he has thicker eyebrow, or they just draw a fucking picture or something like bigger nose.
Because in here, like you would say the Asian guy, right?
Yeah. Well,
What would you say in China?
I never got arrested in China, so I don't know.
No, but how would you describe a suspect?
If they're Asian,
Yeah, how would you describe yourself?
oh, myself? I have
To,
a
to
big
the
nose.
police, if you had like a twin who committed a crime.
I have a big nose. So I would say someone who has a big nose and wear glasses, obviously, and long hair. Well, yeah, feature like that.
I don't know. The police have it hard in China, I feel like.
Yeah, that's actually one of the memes I saw online too.
Yeah, that's where I got that from. That made
Yeah.
me think. How would you find a criminal in China?
Well, how would you find a criminal here? Like you.
What do you mean?
Well, you described the feature, right?
No, but the first word to describe you as a suspect would be Asian.
Yeah. Well, that makes it easier.
The Asian man.
For sure. That makes it easier.
Oh shit, man! Where'd the lighter go? Not this one. I had the other one.
The magic.
Oh, it's under the notebook. Okay. I still have it by me. I was like, did Tanner come in here while I wasn't looking? Okay, so then they took us to jail. And what were you thinking when you were going to jail?
The USC case?
Yeah. I remember thinking you were probably mad at me. And then I looked over at you and you just like smiled at me.
Nah, I definitely wasn't mad. I was kind of glad like you got arrested with me. At least I had a like partner, you know?
It's fucked up.
How is that fucked up?
Because I literally said I was hoping you didn't get arrested and you got away.
Well, I'm not saying I hope you would get arrested. I'm just saying like it's always better to have someone with you.
It is, but it's also even better.
Oh yeah.
The fewer people that get arrested, the better.
Yeah, obviously if you didn't go to jail, that would be better. But at the time, I just feel better when you with you.
I appreciate that, I guess. So yeah, and we were in the cell. You were meditating, I remember.
Yeah, I did some push-up too, and you were sleeping in the other cell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like you didn't give a fuck at all.
Yeah, because that jail cell is so ratchet. Like the cop were just walking by from time to time, so I had to put on a persona, which I just don't care to make the cop mad. Because I just want to appear like I'm a Zen master to the cop.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was actually the first time you got recognized.
Oh
in
yeah,
jail.
the cop. Yeah, he first recognized me. He's like, "Wait, Hugo? Is Eric here?"
Damn, that guy's talented.
Yeah.
He must be a detective or some shit.
Yeah.
How did he know you're Hugo? And not just...
He probably watches your video.
Yeah, but you remember what I was saying about all the students at USC? But, yeah, he was like, oh, Hugo? He's like, wait a minute, who are you here with? Oh my God, Eric Konevsky.
You were right next to me.
So yeah, that was the first time you got recognized. And then when the detectives questioned us separately, I was kind of nervous.
Yeah, I was too.
I didn't know because I didn't know what the fuck you were gonna say. So I decided. Well, I mean, I would have told them the truth anyway because we didn't really do shit. So, yeah, I mean, I just told them the truth, and I was hoping you would say the same thing.
Yeah, I just answered their question. I mean, when they asked about Bass, I didn't like give them the exact answer they were hoping for, but other than
Yeah, they kept asking who the third guy was. They didn't know. And that's why when afterwards they released the hit pieces on the news, that's why they literally had our real names, Ernest Konevsky and Hugo.
Hugo I, yeah.
Hugo I, yeah. They literally got them off our IDs. Like I don't think they even looked up our channels. So.
Did they check our ID?
Yeah, they took our IDs.
Oh.
That's how they had our names. Huh. So, yeah, had you not gotten arrested, you wouldn't have been in all the hit pieces all over the news. I don't know if you care about that.
I mean, nah. That's actually, I actually like that. Like,
You like being all over the news?
yeah, it's fine.
What they were saying on the news is that we targeted a Jewish class. We didn't know it was a Jewish class. We literally walked into the first big lecture hall we saw. No, I think the second big lecture hall because the first one had a woman professor. Yeah. So obviously we wanted to go to the one with a male professor. Right. And yeah, we had no idea it was a Jewish class. And apparently Hugo Boss designed Nazi uniforms or some shit.
Hugo Boss was the manufacturer of Nazi uniform.
Did you know that?
Too. I didn't know that until that incident.
Okay.
Yeah.
So... yeah, but they made it seem like this was some big conspiracy where some like Nazis, even though I'm Jewish myself, so it was just a whole shit show. But yeah, that was your time getting arrested with me. You also had 2 separate arrests. So
yeah.
These get a little more interesting. You want to talk about your first arrest?
Sure.
When you told me that you got arrested for this, I thought you were joking.
Oh, you really thought I was joking?
Yeah.
Nah.
So
the first time I got arrested was during my work. I was doing DoorDash back then. So I was actually delivering a food order to someone. But at that time, I just thought I might as well do a practice. Because the next day, I'm actually planning on doing a prank. First ever prank for my channel. So I just thought, let's do a prank. And then I went to their back kitchen. I was impersonating as this DoorDash supervisor. Something like that. So I was just like doing inspection. And they told me to get out. Actually, they didn't even tell me to get out. They just kind of like, they were just kind of shocked that I went in there. And they just called a cop on me without even telling me. I didn't even know they called a cop. I was still waiting for my order. Like,
Oh, that's why you stayed in there, because you were waiting.
Yeah.
They probably didn't give it to you to hold you there.
Of course not. I don't even know if that order was delivered.
Poor customer. Who made the order?
Maybe the cop delivered the order eventually. But yeah.
Why? So when you told me you got arrested, you were about to start doing, this is when you were first starting your channel. When you told me you got arrested for practicing a prank,
I didn't even have a cameraman.
I'm just like, why? So, for example, this probably makes it look worse too, because, for example, when we were held at gunpoint when you were driving, when I did the garage sale inspector prank, they see that I'm with other people that we're filming. They knew who I am too, which helps. But the fact that we're doing it for a prank, okay, it kind of makes sense. If I was doing it just for fun, if I was just going to people's houses saying I'm going to get my AR-15 with no camera just for fun, like then they'd think, okay, this guy's like, there's actually something crazy about this guy.
Ill.
Yeah.
What's funny is that I actually still do that a lot. Like
What?
I just do prank without a cameraman sometimes. I don't know why. I just like.
Yeah, well, it's one thing to like just say a funny line, but going into the kitchen when there's not even a camera, like, why?
Well, you gotta understand, like when you never film a prank before, like you can't just like put yourself in that position.
But you did
like,
film pranks with me at that point.
with you, but like if I'm filmed on my own, like I have to like get into that mindset. I think that's why back then I had to like.
You could. So when I was practicing the Wes Watson character, I had a long drive from my parents' house back home. I kept playing the Fresh and Fit clip over and over and memorizing exactly what he said. And I kept practicing the voice in my car. I think that's a reasonable way to practice for a prank.
For a character, yeah, for sure.
Maybe you can practice in front of the mirror. But actually going and doing it when there's not even a camera, like, why? So what ended up happening with that case?
Yeah, they just arrested me and I stayed in jail overnight. And I made some friends in the jail cell too. Like, that was actually a pleasant experience for me. Like, which sounds like, like how could you make?
This is the real Hugo, guys.
Like, I was having a lot of fun in that jail cell, to be honest. Because I wasn't alone. There were a lot of cool people there. And we were just talking about, like, I told them why I got in here. They were like, they were all laughing at my story. Because I was wearing fucking DoorDash, the shirt, DoorDash shirt, and the DoorDash hat. So I still look like a dasher sitting at that jail cell, which makes it funnier.
Yeah, so in Texas, when Baskin and I went to jail, they put us in solitary confinement, which that definitely wasn't fun. So yeah, it probably would have been a better experience being around other people, as long as it's not like some crazy like crackheads or some shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple crackhead in that jail cell, but like most of them, there were like 10 of them. But
How many people were in the cell?
Like 10 of them.
Oh yeah, so like when Tanner, Mike, and I got arrested, they put us in a cell that could probably hold like 20 people, but there was only one other guy in there and he was sleeping the whole time. He was like a recovering addict or some shit. He told us briefly when he woke up.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But Mike was in the same cell as you are, or no?
Yeah, it was Tanner, Mike, and I. So it was basically just us in a cell and that one guy sleeping in the corner. So
That's pretty cool too.
yeah, that was... Now, it was $20,000 bail each, so that part wasn't fun. But just the experience of being in jail, like it wasn't anything.
Yeah.
Like it was, whatever.
Oh,
And we were out in 7 hours. We got bailed out super
you got
fast.
bailed out, yeah, I was gonna ask.
So then the next time you got arrested was earlier this year. So Hugo, yeah, sometimes you come up with these ideas. And so this was actually the day that you filmed the Chinese Translator at the gym with me. Yeah. And then you told me that you're going to film your own video after. And then it's like midnight, and I'm getting ready to go to bed. And I get a call, and I see that it says prison/jail as the caller ID. And immediately, I'm like, what did Hugo do? Like,
You knew it was me?
yeah, I would have been very surprised if it was anybody else.
Yeah. It was like...
Because, I mean, I was with Tanner,
Yeah.
so... but tell us what you got arrested for. That
Yeah.
night. So when I picked up the phone, I asked you, Hugo, what did they say you did? because they didn't want you to admit to anything over the phone. I'm like, what are they saying you did?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they wasn't like listening on the phone.
They're always recorded, but
You sure?
yes.
Right. All right, detective. Yeah, like you said, I was filming with you earlier that day, and then after that, I hit up Tash, which is my cameraman. He's like, "Let's film." And I have some ideas on my mind, which is fake shoplifting prank, which is honestly, I didn't get the reaction that I wanted. It wasn't that. Like, I put it on my channel still, but it wasn't that.
So Tanner has gone super viral for a fake shoplifting prank. I just did the same thing.
That one was funny, yeah.
Yeah, that's how you do a fake shoplifting prank. Tell us what you did.
Well, what I did, like, back then, California had this law, right? Like, if you shoplift, the total amount is beyond the limit of 950, that's a felony. But if the total amount of the stuff that you shoplifted was under 950, that's considered a misdemeanor.
Do you understand that a misdemeanor is a crime too?
Yeah, but like, you know, like in San Francisco, cop wouldn't actually deal with that misdemeanor. Like, the crime is just like everywhere back then in San Francisco, and that's why cop couldn't give a shit. Like, you could just shoplift however you want.
I highly doubt it's actually like that.
But in Thousand Oaks,
People think that's how it actually is in LA. I feel like that's how you
not
thought
in
it was.
LA, but
I
like,
know, I know.
yeah.
And that's also why you got arrested. Like, if you did in LA, it probably would have taken cops. You would have had enough time to dip out.
Right.
I mean, shit, you could have at least asked, like...
Yeah, I don't know why I was trying to get it. Like, what was my expectation of the prank? I thought it was just going to be a good idea. But
So basically, you ended up stealing, or you acted like you were going to steal more than... You miscalculated it.
yeah, I did miscalculate it. I brought shame to my Asian ancestors. Well, yeah, the cop was sitting right outside the Target. I mean, outside
Home
Depot. Because Thousand Oaks, which is where I was filming at, they have this shit happen from what I heard every day. That's why the cop was just sitting there, and they must saw I was just one of those thieves. But when I told them I was just doing a prank, I saw that unbelievable face of theirs. Like, they just wouldn't believe I was doing a prank.
But you had a camera guy.
Yeah, but I think that cop would just be a Nazi. Like, he just wouldn't listen to whatever I said. He was committed to it.
It's also that area. It's kind of like why I'll only film in certain areas. Like, you got to know where you are.
Yeah. You don't want to film where a cop is just like...
You just show up in 2 seconds and they have nothing better to do. And... yeah, so I asked you where this happened. As soon as you said Thousand Oaks, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. And then when you told me what actually happened, I was in so much disbelief. But I didn't want to say it on the phone, obviously. Yeah. I didn't know what to say. I don't remember what I said, but
I was just telling you.
Yeah,
I didn't say much.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. But in my head, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, so you come up with these ideas sometimes. The other time, I was literally in awe. I mean, there's a couple that you want to do, that you say you don't want to talk about, that I'm still in awe. And I don't think they're good ideas. But this one, I remember you hit me up. And you're like, hey, Eric, can you film for me? I'm like, oh, well, what do you want to film? And you're like, I have this great idea. I'm going to go to the gym and say that there's a shooter. Somebody's going to come shoot up the gym. But... then somebody comes in with a basketball and starts dribbling.
Yeah, that was actually a great idea, no? I hit you up to film too, right? Oh.
Yeah, you hit me up.
Dude, I hit up Bask too.
Yeah, then I get a call from Bask. He's like, you won't believe what Hugo wants to film.
You said that?
Yeah.
You never told me. That's funny as fuck.
Then I get a text from camera guy Mike. He's like, he sends a screenshot. He's like, yo. like everybody was just like,
he sent a screenshot what?
Of you saying that you want to go to a gym and say there's a shooter
really?
who's going to shoot up the gym. But no, it's just somebody dribbling a basketball.
They were that shocked? I didn't know that.
Hugo, do you not see how that could be kind of a shocking idea?
It is a shocking, but I thought like you guys would like get used to it already. I thought like, because like you guys do some savage ass prank too.
We've never said we're going to shoot up a play. I mean, I do say I'm going to get my AR-15, but I just say I'm going to get it. I don't say I'm going to use it. Saying that there's a shooter who's going to come shoot, that's...
yeah. That video was kind of controversial for sure. Like, some of my comments on that video were saying, like, dude, this is too much. I don't know about this one. But a lot of them also like this, so I don't.
I mean, what sucks too is you had one of your camera guys who they have the same condition you do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to.
Can you explain that, by the way? And I've said this before. You're a great on-screen character, but how come, like, you're sitting still right now? But how come whenever there's a camera in your hands, you just start
I'm
seizing
pretty
all
sure I
over?
got better now. Like, I'm pretty. If you give me one more chance to like film for you or Tanner, dude, like it's gonna be better. I promise you that. But like, as far as my cameraman, I mean, my new cameraman, he's improving a lot.
So
like,
your new cameraman, remember he held the spot for me in line?
Oh yeah.
So
shout out to Yuki.
Shout out to Yuki. But yeah, so Yuki FaceTimed me that morning. He's like, "Hey Eric, am I at the right spot?" And I can't even tell where he is.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, this isn't, you're not filming a prank. Nobody's pointing a gun at you. Nobody's attacking you. Like, you can't FaceTime.
I remember when you told me that, I was laughing my ass off.
I'm like, oh, you're right. This is Hugo's camera guy.
Hugo's camera.
Makes sense.
Yeah. No, he definitely got better now. Like, just FaceTime now. Like, see if he shakes. Like, I promise you, it's not gonna be as bad this time. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, cameraman, like, I guess you just gotta keep correcting them when they. Like, dude, it's a fucking headache for me to edit the video back then. Even now sometimes, cause like my cameraman always shake the fucking camera.
Oh yeah, shit always happens. Even editing my last video, when we were filming at Ralph's, people kept getting in Tanner's way, so he had to maneuver his way around them. But that's gonna happen inevitably.
Normal, yeah.
But see, when I'm filming for Tanner, what I'm thinking is, I'm a viewer. Would I want to watch this video? Like, how would a viewer want to see this video? And that's how you got to think when you're filming.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the key, I feel like.
That's the mentality as a cameraman. Yeah.
Yeah, you've come up with some wild ideas. And the last thing I want to talk about is what you're known as the Chinese Translator. That was a random dare on one of my videos, and I didn't think it was going to be anything, honestly. I remember we had one of our bootleg temporary camera guys that day, and you were just like driving around with us all day until it was time to do your scene. We barely even got a chance to do it. It was like the last scene of the day.
Oh yeah.
And I remember it, like the moment we started doing it was just so funny.
Oh yeah.
Like I just knew.
I know, right?
I just knew this is the funniest shit ever.
Right.
But I never thought it would blow up the way it did.
I never thought it would be either. It's crazy. Like,
yeah, but I literally made a post that day. I just filmed my funniest video I've ever done with Hugo.
You did?
Wait till you guys see it. Yeah. So like, then you remember I couldn't stop laughing for hours after.
yeah,
I thought it was so
wasn't
funny.
just like funny to the audience. Like when we were doing it, like
Yeah, like
it was really fun to do it for us too.
yeah. The second time we filmed, you kept like every scene you kept like breaking character.
Oh yeah.
And I had to like the third time I had to tell you like, yo.
Which kind of makes the video funnier. In a sense.
I mean,
but if you keep doing it
in the museum, that was like
kept on
perfect timing.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it was really funny in the museum, but then when it kept happening over and over, it's like,
that's
come on.
kind of ruins the video.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely funniest prank to do for us.
Yeah, and that's all you, man. Because like the dare was just translate what I say in Chinese, and that's what I told you to do. But you came up with the idea of translating people's hand movements and all that.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that?
I just feel like it's only natural to do so. Like when you're doing a prank, you're not just doing a textbook message. You gotta like actually put yourself into the character. Like when you just like translate like this, like the Indian guy.
Yeah, so this is one thing people don't understand. They're like, oh, do 2 translators, 3 translators. Yo, the idea itself is not that funny. It's only funny because it's Hugo.
Yeah, because we had experience before with different translator before.
Yeah, so like the Indian guy, that was, I don't know what the fuck that was.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Andy, I basically told him, do what Hugo does, copy everybody's mannerisms. And the first day we did it, remember, he just like overdid it. He was like, cucaracha, like,
really?
like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, dude, like calm down. Like,
Yeah.
like do what Hugo's, like, you know.
Yeah.
So he got it the second day, but I mean, I don't know why it's so hard for people. I feel like it's really not that hard.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody's made for pranks. So.
Да, я думаю, не все сделаны для пранков.
Yeah.
Да.
Da.
See, like it's I can do it. Like it's not that hard.
Right. I mean, I don't know. People just not comfortable in front of the camera, I guess.
One thing they didn't understand too is that you don't have to. You're not a real translator. You don't have to get the translation
Right.
perfect.
Right. So what you say is not that important. As long
And
as
people
you-
still say that you're on point with
Oh
the shit.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I am on point even with the translation. But what's more important is the tone, your tonality, and your like body language.
And also to be fast.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when we're having a conversation, obviously it's me having a conversation with the other person in English. You gotta interject before they have a chance to speak.
For sure, yeah. Like
So-
if you get one or two words wrong, it doesn't matter. Not that many Chinese like speaking audience are watching your video.
Yeah, I feel like other people just like, oh, like they take a second to think about it. Like that's not the time to think. You just go. Like,
Yeah.
just say something, but get the mannerisms, and you know that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
It's harder than it looks, which is, it's people think it's so simple, but it's actually a lot harder than it seems. I didn't realize until we had that Indian guy.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. Cause when you said, "Oh, can I get my car?" What did you say? Like, can I get my car washed? He was just like,
So
Suka.
no, he said so.
So.
No, I was like, it is. They asked me how many miles are on the car, and I remember I'm like, it is, and I took a pause, so you can translate it is. I look
took him
over at him.
3 seconds.
I look over at him, and he's just sitting there. I'm like, okay. 116,334. And he just says, stole.
Go.
现在的 mileage 现在这个买里数是多少？
It is 139,325.
So
Like, what am I supposed to do with that? And I kept telling you over and over. Like, yo, what are you even here for?
Bro, okay. You're literally here for one reason, bro. Like, how can you forget?
That's back when Tanner wasn't living here and he would just come to film. Now, luckily, we have him out here. If some shit like that happened nowadays, I would be like, yo, we're done for the day. And, you know, we have as much time as we need to finish the video. But back then, we were on such a time crunch that I'm like, I guess we gotta. But the smart thing, even smarter thing to do would be to just run at me and you, like send him home.
Yeah, and we didn't do that back then. Like, I guess we were just like too. We didn't know how to say go home to him. Like, what can we do at that point? I mean,
No, I was fine with saying go home to him, but then I'm without a video. At least that's what I thought.
yeah, but like without him, like you said, we could just run me and you.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what we should have done.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover today. This was kind of, you know, just for you guys to get to know Hugo a little bit more. A lot of you guys wanted Hugo to come on. Well, now you know the real Hugo
yeah.
a little bit better.
Appreciate you guys.
Is there anything you want to talk about?
Me? I wasn't even prepared for the question.
Oh. It's one of Hugo's catchphrases.
Yeah, when Eric or Tanner call me, I just like, hello?
Hello. Yeah, why do you pick up the phone like that?
I don't know. What am I supposed to? Hey, hello. What's up, man? What's up, guys? I mean, like, it's just the way I talk, I guess.
Hello. And then, yeah, when I asked Tanner to film, I'm like, hey, can you film on Tuesday? And he's like, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
If he asked me to film, I'm like, yeah, all right.
Oh yeah, speaking of.
And then when we asked you to film on Tuesday, you're like, oh,
yeah,
are you sure you need me?
I have to, nah, I never said that. Are you sure you need me? I never said
Oh, well,
that.
like,
Yeah.
you got a face.
I had to like think for a second, like, what's my schedule on that day, like specifically. But I always ends up filming for you guys, anyways.
Well, shit. Also, at the end of every podcast, we read all of the super thanks that you guys leave, $5 and up. And this week we got a total of 0.
The first time I'm on this podcast, I got 0.
Yeah, we've been getting 1 per podcast, but our monetization was turned off for a day. There was some shit we had to correct with AdSense because this is a newer channel. And I saw some people commenting that day like, yo, where can I leave super thanks? How can I do it? So I feel like that could be why. But yeah, $5 and up, we read all the super thanks on here. So if you have any questions about anything at all, if you want to leave hate, whatever you guys leave in the comments and the super thanks, I will read with Tanner on the next podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed Hugo on here.
Thank you guys.
Again, make sure to go subscribe to him and let us know if you want more Hugo. I wish Tanner was here. I wish it was all three of us.
Yeah, but we don't got space for 3, do we?
I mean, you can crisscross over here. All right, literally, if you sat crisscross up here.
That would work.
Yeah, doesn't have to. Yeah, this would be very awkward, but we already have our knees touching.
2 giants sitting right next to me.
But all right, that's pretty much it for today.
Secondhand cigarette, secondhand weed.
Oh shit! If you get the weed, sometimes I start getting like the secondhand high, whatever that's called, and
Sativa.
yeah,
Sativa.
Well, yeah, when he had the indica that one day, that was just a shit show. It fucked everything up. He started like rambling, and it was starting to hit me. I was starting to ramble.
Really?
Yeah, so I just know if you get that secondhand high, like it's over.
I never got second.
But that'll be an interesting podcast regardless. So let us know if you want to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for today. We're out of here.
Peace.